Abraham, the journey of faith. What would you do if God asked you to leave everything you know behind? In a time long ago, in a land filled with busy streets and familiar faces, there lived a man named Abraham. His life was comfortable, predictable, and secure. But one day, everything changed. A voice called to him, clear yet unseen. "Leave your country, your people, and go to the land I will show you." There was no map, no clear destination, just a promise. And Abraham made a choice that would define his life forever. He obeyed. He gathered his wife Sarah, his nephew Lot, and everything they owned. Together, they stepped into the unknown, walking through vast deserts and distant lands, guided only by faith. As they journeyed, God gave Abraham an incredible promise. "I will make you a great nation, and through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed." But there was one problem. Abraham and Sarah had no child. Years passed, then decades. The promise seemed farther away than ever. Abraham grew older, Sarah too, and still no child. Doubt began to whisper. Questions filled their hearts. How can this ever happen? In their waiting, Sarah made a difficult decision. She gave her servant Hagar to Abraham so they could have a child through her. Hagar conceived, and soon a son was born. Abraham named him Ishmael. For a moment, it seemed like the promise had come in a different way, but this situation brought tension and pain into the home. Relationships grew strained, and peace was lost. Yet even in this complicated moment, God did not forget Hagar or her son. Later, when conflict became too great, Hagar and Ishmael were sent away into the wilderness, alone, vulnerable, with limited water. As the sun beat down and their strength faded, Hagar feared the worst for her child. She placed Ishmael under a bush and stepped away, unable to watch him suffer. But God heard the cry of the boy. In that desperate moment, God called to Hagar, "Do not be afraid. I will make him into a great nation." Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water nearby. Hope returned. Life was restored. Even in the wilderness, God provided. Years passed, and once again, God reminded Abraham of his promise. One night, under a sky filled with countless stars, God spoke, "Look up, so shall your descendants be." And Abraham believed. Then, when it seemed completely impossible, the promise finally came to pass. Sarah gave birth to a son. They named him Isaac, meaning laughter, because joy had replaced years of waiting and doubt. At last, the promise was fulfilled. But Abraham's faith would face one final, unimaginable test. One day, God spoke again. "Take your son, your only son Isaac, and offer him as a sacrifice." It was a command that pierced the heart. Isaac was not just a son, he was the promise. Yet Abraham did not turn away. With a heavy heart but unwavering trust, he set out with Isaac toward a mountain. Step by step, they climbed higher, the silence between them growing deeper. When they reached the top, Abraham prepared the altar. The moment had come. With trembling hands but steady faith, he raised his hand, believing that somehow, even now, God would provide. Then suddenly, "Abraham, Abraham!" a voice broke through the silence. "Do not lay a hand on the boy." At that very moment, Abraham looked up, and there, caught in a nearby bush, was a ram. God had provided. It was never about taking Isaac. It was about proving trust. Abraham's journey was not simple. It was filled with waiting, mistakes, testing and redemption. Yet through it all, one truth remained. God is faithful, even when the path is unclear. He did not forget Abraham, he did not forget Sarah, and he did not forget Hagar and Ishmael. Faith is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who does. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Echoes Bible Stories.